Hey guys, Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Thanks for tuning in on this episode. I have a T69, which is a Tier 8 American regular tech tree medium tank with an autoloader. It's got a 4-clip autoloader. You can see that I have this. I recently rebought this, probably recently within the last 6 months, maybe a little longer now. And I don't even have a crew for it. The crew is at 100% for their major qualifications, but not one of them has a full skill trained yet. I'll show you that at the end of the game. The reason I'm bringing that up is twofold. Number one, we're going to talk about finding seams in the enemy defense and how to exploit them. And number two, we're going to talk about something that's kind of a hot topic on the forums from now and again, every now and again. And in particular right now, there's a big push about I must have 6th sense on all my crews. It has to be a basic part of the game. It's not fair, all this stuff. Well, here's a crew without 6th sense. We'll see how I do with it. The point of all of that, though, is, from my standpoint, is it is not the crew. It's not even necessarily the tank a lot of times. Sometimes it's a little bit of both. But what is it really? It's really about positioning and reacting to the fight, knowing the maps at least a little bit, and being able to fight the actual tank that you are playing. It is definitely about having your crews at 100% within their major qualifications. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that 50% or 75% crews are the way to go. And clearly guys with skills and perks, with a bunch of them, are going to help you out. But the idea that you've got to have any particular skill or the other in order to do well in the game is another matter entirely. And it is about playing the game the right way, finding the seams in the defense, looking for places where you can exploit the enemy team. So we are here on Fisherman's Bay, and I have spawned into the south point. And I'm going to one of my favorite initial points to look for damage, which is this bush and potentially the bush right to the right. Also on the left side is pretty good as far as looking down that corridor, but you'll notice that we do not have any tanks over at like H1, so I'm watching that pretty carefully, and this is exactly why I go to this spot. I'm looking for a big dumb fat guy to move across the middle right there, because I was fairly far back in the bush. Actually, it's looking through it, so I'm not getting much bush right there, so to speak, but there are no scouts around, so I'm able to just put a bunch of shots in that guy, just clip out onto the 100.01, and I'm still spotting guys, so I'm just going to hang out here while I reload. Looking for maybe one more shot on this guy as he goes. And down he goes, and I'll back up. And I'm going to assume, because I don't have 6th sense, that I'm actually spotted right there. So I move a little bit forward. Hey, guess what? I was. There's an artillery shot. So that 100.1 had got close enough that I got spotted. More than likely, I'm unspotted moving up by the time I start to move up. And again, watching my left, because I know that if they push hard down the one line, get into about G1, H1, I can easily be spotted from my left and then start getting wrecked by whatever's camping it there. We have some heavies down in the town doing some work, and we've still got quite a few guys futzing around through the middle. The Bulldog, the 251, the Object, all things with good spotting and capability to see me, especially if I fire from this bush right here or they get close enough. I've got the T-54 lightweight on my left right there. He's trying to hold down that part. Oh, look, we got a Bulldog running around. I miss. Oh, he's tracked. There we go. And I have to assume I'm spotted, so I am moving. I'll force a reload. And I've got my AP ready for the next reload. Now notice what I did there was I'm forcing a reload on the heat that I was firing, and then as soon as it starts loading, I press 1 once. Twice would force it into loading AP, but right now then it's going to my AP after I fire this clip on the automatic reload. Why? Because I've only got 5 heat shells, and the last thing I want to do is fire my heat and then load 1 heat shell in 30 seconds or whatever it takes. This is a tier 8 autoloader, so it does take quite a long time for it to reload. This is tricky for not having 6th sense. You're kind of poking and prodding here. Usually you are relying a little bit on 6th sense to let you know if you're seen while you do it. It's a de facto spotting mechanism. So I'm going to be careful while I'm doing it. And that goes back to my point about you don't have to have all these things to play smartly. So we'll come up here, just kind of being careful. I know they've got an artillery. We're looking all right. We've got some heavies and a Lorraine pushing into that Type 4. That's a little worrisome. I'd love to get rid of these scouts. If I could get rid of these scouts, that would be absolutely fantastic. There goes that guy. Get a shot into him, and he gets away. So rather than sit there, clearly I was spotted by him right there. And now I force a reload. Now that was a bit of a mistake, because I outsmarted myself just a little bit. If I wanted to keep firing the heat, I should have forced a reload with 2. But when I just hit C, it actually reloaded to what I had asked it to do earlier, which is just to my regular AP. So we'll come around here, so we got pretty even. I'm thinking, well, if we can get that Type 4 out over there. For whatever reason, the enemy team has not pushed hard on the one line. I say whatever reason. The reason is they're very TD heavy, especially with what they've got left right now. So I don't expect them to send too many things up there. It looks like the Lorraine finally decided to go see what's what. Probably felt like the game was getting away from them maybe just a little bit. And I'm just looking for seam. So back to the theme of initially, I go up here, I look for some shots, I come over to the, what was it, about the 6 line, the 7 line. I'm looking for a seam right there. An autoloader that can get in on a flank and start working flanks can do some really great work. I did have an option to go to the 1-2 line, but I know there's just going to be TDs back there. So poking and prodding against that 40T really isn't a great idea. Plus we've got the Super, the Lightweight, the JT 8.8 camping away back there. We have plenty of guys dealing with those two, although there goes the Super. And that made me pause for a second thinking, man, maybe I need to go back. And I'm thinking, nope, looks like we got problem down in the town and things are getting away from us. So let's move over here and I'll start looking for a seam up here. I'd like to get around behind and start spotting if I can. Spotting and taking guys on the flank. So let's head on down here. Looks like the Type is dead. I mentioned that earlier, but he's already gone. So that's one of the reasons why going down here is an okay idea. Lorraine took out our 212, but he's got the JT and the Lightweight and the AT. So he's probably going to get hunted down and killed over there fairly quickly. That'll be a good kill for us. And we've got the 416. There's a Type 59. He misses, thankfully. Now I'm headed over this way. I don't force a reload because I figure I'm going to need it pretty quickly. I can see the Lorraine is going in on him, so initially I was going to turtle up a bit. I'm like, oh crap, Lorraine is out in the open, so I definitely need to get in there and help this guy take this dude down, because it's going to take both of our clips. Neither one of us can do his whole damage. I suppose the Lorraine potentially could if he had everything in this clip, but I'm not sure what he's got. Looks like he's out, so we take him down with my 3 shots. And I'm trying to disappear back into this corridor so that guy doesn't shoot me. But it looks like he's on the run now that he's lit. So finding a seam, I find that seam, I work through it, we take out that 59. Now I'm trying to get this object, 416. Again, this is an area where not having 6th sense is difficult for you, because normally I would figure out whether I was going to stay here based on whether I was lit or not. But I just assume I wasn't. I was headed for cover, but then I noticed that he's so busy fighting other people. Even if I am seen, more than likely I can do some good work on this guy. There we go. We got him tracked. Unfortunately, I am out of shots. Outstanding. The 54 got him off my track. So now I'm going to move back towards the back of the map. It looks like our cap is not threatened, so that is something I'm checking right now. Yep, that's fine. We got the middle covered. We got an AT and a JT camping back there. And really, finding seams and exploiting things like that, a lot of it just has to do with the fact that most of your team is probably camping like a bunch of campers. So it really, at the end of the day, it's up to you to get in there and get things going. As long as you're doing it in a carefully aggressive way, you're probably doing the right thing. That guy gets lit up, and I just take him in the side. And that is one of those kind of strategic flanks where I am flanking as a part of the map as opposed to just flanking to the side of a individual or group of tanks in the localized areas. So I'm working a strategic flank on this map. They have a tank back where they probably don't know it is. I may have been lit on that, I don't know, but more than likely by about now I'm unlit. I'd like to get that RHM into draw range if I could, if he's still alive. But I'm also a little bit worried about what might be up here. But the good news is he dies. Oh, there's the T30. He's right at the edge. More than likely, this is going to light me up. So I'll take a shot there. Shot there. He's definitely seeing me, looking at me. And I make him miss, so that was a little bit lucky. He definitely saw me. Artillery doesn't have time to shoot, or was shooting someone else. And now they are down to 2 tanks. You'll notice that for the T69, it is not the swiftest little tank. It gets around, but man, it can feel like a heavy at times based on its mobility. And here we go. This is just a race for the rest of the damage. I figure one of them's in this little corner right here. I'll show you what I mean when I get up on top of it. And indeed, there is one of them. Yeah, there's that guy. He turns to see me. Oh, there's the artillery. He misses, thankfully. Probably wouldn't have killed me, but that works out. I can't clip this guy out. I did get stunned. I'm going to wait for these guys to come down. He turns. Shoot him as I come in. Ram him. I don't even know if I did any damage ramming him. Not very much if I did. And down he goes. End of the campers. So 4,565, 5 kills. This is a tank with no sixth sense, no skills really to speak of. Again, I'll show you the crew at the end of this. And most importantly, like I said, no sixth sense. You're looking for seams, you're looking for weaknesses in the enemy setup and their deployment. Really, at the end of the day, it's just playing smart. And I'm not going to say something like you don't need sixth sense. That's not my point. As far as sixth sense goes, I think it should be a skill that you train, that you work for, so that by the time you get to tier 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there, more than likely your crew is going to have it and you'll be good from there. But even at tier 8, if you don't have it, as long as you're playing smart, you can certainly do a good job without it, as long as you're looking for those seams in the enemy defense and exploiting what's actually happening on the map. Alright guys, hope you liked what you saw, hope you learned something. If you did, make sure you subscribe and we will see you.